Gemini, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early February 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Geminis. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guides, talk to me. What do we got for the Geminis in early February as we are moving along throughout the year? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Gemini, please. Early February, talk to me. What's happening with my friends? Get this first card out here for you. Oh, quick, very first shuffle. Now, I always find this card extremely intriguing, and it's been showing its face a lot the past couple of weeks. This is a big card of temptation. So, Gemini, don't say I didn't warn you. You might be tempted by something here with this first card. But there's a lot of detail to it. Before we fully dive in, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the February subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk a little bit more about this card. So yes, we do have this devil-like figure here. Now, it's not exactly like the devil within the tarot deck. Remember, this is an oracle. Notice it has a lot of the Garden of Eden symbolism within it. So we have the devil there, we have that female, we have a serpent. So the main thing I always think of with this card, like I already mentioned, is that of temptation. So if there's been something you've been trying to refrain from in this time, whether it's a habit, whether it's an individual, whether it's a behavior or a thought process or anything, you could be tempted in this time to go back to old ways or cave in one way or another. Now, it doesn't just link in with that. I would say for a lot of you, yeah, please just beware, especially if you've been trying to lay off something. This card could be like, yeah, you really might be tempted. But this is also linked to materialism in one way or another. Not that it's all bad, right? Life is all about balance, spirituality, materialism. But there could be something about material effects or work or money that are very important in this time as well. Because that's how I interpret devil energy. It's not just temptation or bad things. It could also just be about material goods. So we're just going to put that down right there. Let's get into tarot now. And I always say the first card over here, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get it going. 3 cards in the upright to start us off. Then we'll get into the intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time for the lovely Geminis. And while we shuffle this deck up and get the cards ready to rock, let's talk about last week's reading. And a big vibe I was picking up in last week's reading was somebody in their feelings a little bit. The reading was titled They Are Mad. So, I mean, maybe for some of you, like your blood pressure spiked, right? Maybe something upset you, someone or something. But the main vibe I was picking up, it wasn't really your energy, that there could have been somebody else where feeling a little disgruntled, almost bitter type of energy. So do with that information what you will. We're going to see what we have for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. So let's get it going. 3 cards for my Geminis, please. In early February, talk to me. What's going on, my friends? All right, wow. So communication here. We're starting with the boom. We're starting with a bang. We have the 8 of Wands in position number 1. That is a very powerful, fast-moving card to really start the spread off with. We'll talk about it, though. Let's get 2 more. Really start to build this. Hey, we got our good friend, the King of Cups, a.k.a. Kyle of Cups himself, with a goblet. He's having himself a beverage right there. Let's see what he's about. All right. Feeling pretty neutral so far about the energy. Let's get one more. Thank you. 2 of Wands. So some strategy, lots of fire for you this week. Yeah, someone might be planning something out with this 2 of Wands on the back end. So yeah, Gemini, let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, we're picking up a little bit of a pattern here. We have the extreme ends, which is a lot of fire. Fire energy could be unpredictable sometimes. It's all about movement, action, passion. We also have the King of Cups, which could be an individual. It doesn't always have to be. Taking up the center. Very strong emotional tie with this card. So it's gonna be intriguing to see how this all builds out to the story. So let's go through one by one. Position number one, like I already mentioned, we are starting with a bang. We have the Eight of Wands. So you see the imagery there. It's 8 wands or arrows just cutting through the sky. This is one of the fastest moving cards in the whole deck. So of course this represents action. It represents movement, people doing things, shaking things up. Sometimes it could be changed, but the main thing I always think of with this card is communication, talks, messages, especially fiery back and forths. So when we see this starting us off, it's like boom, starting like a rocket. So the clarifier for this could be really important. So whether we're looking at the type of conversation coming in or an action being taken, that's a big thing with this card. Now, I always say all cards have positives and challenges. A challenge of this Eight of Wands, sometimes it could be a person that says things without thinking them through. The Eight of Wands can also be someone that acts before they think, all right, or does something before they think it through. It could be very unpredictable and very spontaneous, okay, even unexpected in a sense. So I'm really intrigued to see what this has to say, especially since it's our starting point. Now, moving over to the center, we have our good friend, the King of Cups himself, chilling right there. My namesake right there. And yeah, you could just be connected to a water sign, right? So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And whenever we see a king of any sort within tarot deck, they all represent control of their respective suit. So the King of Cups represents emotional control, emotional balance. He often shows up in a spread where there's a lot of powerful emotion or love for somebody. So whether this is love you have for someone or feelings you have for someone or their feelings towards you. Remember, the King of Cups is the most self-actualized version of the whole suit. It's the upper echelon of the card. So we're seeing very intense, powerful energy, especially from the Eight of Wands to the King of Cups. Very intense type of vibe. Now, when we look at the challenges of the King of Cups, sometimes it could represent a person that parties it up a little too much, someone that throws a few too many back a little too often. The King of Cups could represent someone that's emotionally unbalanced. Remember, we did see someone last week that was a little upset. Worst case scenario could be someone that manipulates emotions. We're not fully going to go that route because I generally see this as a very positive card. The King of Cups to me is just filled with love, creativity, and abundance. So this is a really good center. It could just be telling us how someone's feeling, all right, when we clarify it. I always like to keep it simple when I do my spread. So we're going to put him right back where he belongs, and we'll get back to you, King of Cups. On to the back end, we have the Two of Wands. Now, this is a little more slowed down. It's not as powerful. It's not as hectic as these other energies up front. Now, all twos in tarot, they could represent decisions. They could represent choices, being at a crossroads in life. Specifically, the Two of Wands could represent taking a trip, could represent situations involving distance and travel. So some of you might have situations like that going on. But a big theme I always talk about with the Two of Wands, to me, it represents planning. It represents strategy, decision-making. So for some of you, you might be using those beautiful Gemini brains to plan something out or strategize something. Spirit could be asking you to plan something out or strategize, right? Like do it thoroughly. Another thing, yeah, it could just be a person planning. Now, as far as the challenge of the Two of Wands goes, it could represent someone that's a little indecisive. Sometimes it could also represent somebody that's planning not for the best purposes. So we really want to dive deeper in all this, Gemini. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for the Geminis, see what's happening. My guides, talk to me. What do we got? The Gemini Collective. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Eight of Wands. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Gemini, you could drop it right in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Eight of Wands time. Why is this Eight of Wands in the mix? Thank you. Sudden, unexpected. Very good, though. Very, very good and positive. We have the Wheel of Fortune in the upright underneath this Eight of Wands. So this is extremely, extremely intense energy. Now, whenever I see the Wheel of Fortune, Gemini, you know that's my luck charm in the whole entire tarot deck. So the Wheel of Fortune straight up and down, it's like, all right, something really good could be coming in, especially under the Eight of Wands. It's coming in rapidly. It's coming in fast. So I feel like it's either one thing or another. For a lot of you, when we see the wheel, yes, it's karmic. It It represents the cycles of life. It also represents change and shift. But this wheel spins very suddenly. So when I see it under an unpredictable card like this Eight of Wands, I feel like it's one of two things for a lot of you. This could be an unexpected talk, right? Or a conversation that you weren't expecting to have. It comes in, and the result of it is very positive. You might get some really good or exciting news as well, linked in with that. And overall, I feel like this could be an unexpected win too. So it could be both. It could be one, it could be the other, it could be both. Extremely powerful. Now, what I really want to look at is how it plays throughout the rest of the reading, because I feel like there's going to be a ripple effect of the energy. Like this is starting us off with a complete bang. So I would claim this energy if I were you, Gemini, like whether this is exciting news or an unexpected talk or an unexpected win, it comes in very suddenly. And just know in the coming days and weeks, luck might be on your side. Even if you're not feeling super optimistic, even if you're going through things, even if you're down in the dumps, Spirit could really be saying to a lot of you, luck is on your side. The Wheel of Fortune is connected to Jupiter energy. Jupiter is like a guardian angel luck charm. So for a lot of you, I'm feeling luck switching to your side. Whether it is the exciting news, unexpected talk, or unexpected win, I feel like it's one or the other. It could be all of them for you in this time. So I would claim this energy right here on the front end. Beautiful stuff. Let's keep moving forward. Because remember, that's just where we're starting here. So I want to get over to the strategy and the planning, see what the King of Cups is doing here. So why is the King of Cups in the mix? Very nice. Good way to start. So talk to me about this King of Cups. Thank you. Ace of Swords, opportunities, offers. Now, I will say this, for some of you, you could be seeing a situation or a person in this time in two separate different ways. It's like, all right, well, I feel this way, but my mind is telling me this. Because I'm getting this prototypical battle between the heart and the mind, or the emotions and the logic. So in this time, there could be certain things that you're trying to balance out or make sense of within yourself, whether it's a situation or what have you. But the Ace of Swords isn't always harsh. It's not always bad. Now, this is a card of messages and communications. So whatever this talk or these messages coming in, let it spill, right? Like, you're good with this Sword of Truth energy, Gemini. You're good with it. Like, yeah, it's straightforward, to the point, and honest. So if we're talking about you sharing how you feel, you sharing your emotions, straight to the point, literally, right? The sword has the point right there. I really like how this feels. So we have so much communication and talking going on here in the front end. But I will say, whatever situations you're going through or things you're dealing with, whether positive or negative, it's good to have a balance of these things. Like, yes, use your intuition a little bit, but also use your brain and your logic. And I think you're doing that. Another portion of you, this could be a really big offer coming in as well. Okay, especially with what we have going on here in the front. Now the King of Cups with the Ace of Swords, this could be a really good offer that makes you feel amazing emotionally. So we're not going to overcomplicate it. It is what it is. Let's keep moving. So far, so good, Gemini. Let's see what that Two of Swords has to say. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the Shadow card. So far, so good, my friends. The aces are always good for new as well. New cycles, new things. Thank you. Okay. Another card of planning, but this one is in reverse. And you really, really want to make sure you move through life purposefully in this time. Don't just let life take you along or go with the flow a little too much. I know that's not an issue for Geminis. That's usually a water sign thing, where it's like they just go with the flow a little too much and life just moves them along like a river. We have the Page of Swords in reverse underneath the Two of Wands. So I do always say the Page is a watcher. It's also a strategizer. It's also a talker, a messenger. So in every single alignment, we do have communication and talking. But notice this Page of Swords turned up in reverse. This could be a card that represents you because you're an air sign or another air sign. And when I see it in reverse underneath the Two of Wands, Spirit is really telling you to watch your spontaneity in this time. That there is something that's going to be coming up in this time that you're really going to need to get down to the nuts and bolts of it. Be purposeful. Right? We all like being spontaneous from time to time, right? Let life come as it is. But there could be something you really need to get down to the nitty-gritty details and be detail-oriented about. And when I see this Page of Swords in reverse, it is giving me that vibe. Another thing I could think of, this could literally be a person that you have a difficult time communicating with. And It could be someone who's like undecided about how they're going to respond to something. Only take that if it hits, especially since we have all this communication up front. We have it coming in hot, unexpected. Then we have this in the center where someone just lets it spill. This is someone who's like not sure how they're going to respond to something. So that might be you in this time as well. So I feel like the main thing is be strategic in your approach to whatever it is you're going through. Very important, right? Be diligent and detail oriented. Big warning from Spirit about that. But there's so much communication. More than half the deck is about it. I mean, the spread. So let's go through and do a quick recap before we get into the shadow card, Gemini. Intriguing reading this week. I'm not seeing any big like red flags or anything. But position number 1, we have the 8 of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune in the upright. Luck will be on your side. Whether you're going through tough times, medium times, or good times, this is a beautiful way to start off a reading. So yeah, I do feel it could be an unexpected talk. It could be exciting news. It could be an unexpected win. Moving to the center, we do have the King of Cups with the Ace of Swords in the upright. Yeah, you might have an offer come in or an opportunity. Another portion of you, if it is an emotional response or a communication, like we've been seeing, it's very important that you just let it spill. Speak your truth. Be honest about it. Nothing wrong with that. Another vibe I was picking up, aside from all that, there could be certain things that you're really weighing in this time. Like, do I use my intuition? Do I use my logic? The heart, the mind. So we have that little flip-flop going on here. On to the back end, we do have the 2 of Wands with the Page of Swords in reverse. When we're talking about communication, this is someone that doesn't quite know how they're going to respond to something just yet. So if you're having difficulty speaking with someone, they don't know how to respond in the right way. But a big vibe I was picking up was Spirit saying like, hey, Gemini, in this time, just be very detail-oriented. Don't be super spontaneous, even if that energy is coming towards you. Get down to the nuts and bolts of whatever problems or situations you're going through, and attention to detail. Super, super important, okay? So whether it's work-related, relationship-related, whatever it might be, attention to detail is what's being called for here on the back end. So please take a screenshot of that. Intriguing reading this week for you, my friends. And yeah, let's get you a shadow card, Gemini. Let's see what's in the shadows for Gemini, please. And yes, my friends, you know I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be very good. So let's get your one here to end this off. Oh, and yes, if you've made it to this point in reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it down in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. Obviously, no pressure, but I have much love and gratitude to all my channel members. So let's get it going here. One card, one shadow card for Gemini. Quick. 10 of Swords, common. Very, very common card to have in the shadows. And I say whenever it shows up, nothing to really be nervous about, because as people going through the human experience, we all hold on to and we all experience these 10 of Swords moments from time to time. It's more about how long it takes you to deal with this. Now, whenever this card shows up as a shadow card or not, it could represent pain. It could represent rough and tough endings. It could represent a rock bottom or a dodgy past. So when we see it as a shadow card, it makes sense. Most times, these types of energies, these pains, can take a very, very long time to heal. We're not just talking a couple days or a couple months. We're talking even possible years. So there could be something that you have been dealing with or you are dealing with that's been around for quite a while, and that's okay. But Spirit might be asking you, when this shows up as a shadow card, to really take a look at it in this time. Maybe with that King of Cups, Ace of Swords, like look at it with the intuition and the logic, and work through it at your own pace. Remember, everyone carries this 10 of Swords, at least a little bit of it, because we all experience pain and loss. So yeah, Gemini, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The February subscriber surprise. If you got your name in for the January subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced after this week's fire and air sign readings. But before we jump into this month's subscriber surprise, I just have a couple of really quick announcements. First and foremost, if you've been trying to hunt me down for a personal reading, my digital calendar is now up on mastermetaphysics.com. You can find that down in the description. So it has all the information if you'd like to book a personal reading with me. Second, I also opened up a P.O. box. I know a lot of people have been wanting to write me or send me various different things. That is also in the description. I'll be doing an update on Master Metaphysics later this week with a bunch of goodies like the pendants, crystal bracelets, and things like that. But for the February subscriber surprise, I'll be giving away 2 copies of the beautiful Everyday Witches Tarot. It's one of my go-to decks. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments which tarot suit vibes with you the best. Is it the fiery wands? Is it the earthy pentacles, the emotional cups, or the logical swords? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of February, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you again soon.